Hey guys, it's me David and welcome back to a LEGO Ideas set review. Today we have the Grand Piano. Wow, is this set just absolutely massive. The box is huge. Like, it's way bigger than I think you guys would expect it to be. And it comes with quite a hefty price tag as well. $350 for this set. The set number is 21323. It's got 3,662 pieces and it's ages 18 plus. Now, if you guys didn't know, any LEGO set now, and I guess from here on out, that says 18 plus on the box means that it's a set intended for the adults. Now, in the LEGO community, we call ourselves AFOLs, or adult fans of LEGO. You obviously don't have to call yourself that if you're new to LEGO or you just don't want to associate yourself with the term. It does sound a little weird, not gonna lie, but I'm fine with it. Anywho, so this is an adult-oriented set. Obviously, $350 is a lot of money to pay for a LEGO set, so I'm definitely interested to see whether this set is absolutely going to be worth that price tag or not. The piece count itself, 3,600 pieces, is technically pretty good for $350. However, there's been plenty of other sets at that price range to come with far more pieces. For example, I think like the Harry Potter Hogwarts set is like $400, $50 more than the set, but you're getting like 6,000 pieces. So the piece count might be low on this, all things considered. It's still in that 10 cents per piece bracket. However, the reason why this set is so expensive, $350, is not because of the piece count or anything. It's because it has electronics in it. So it actually says it right here. It says it has Power Up, which is LEGO's new motorized system they use for a lot of different sets, for example, in Technic sets. And you can kind of see it right here on the back of the box. There's some motors, there's a sensor, a battery box. All of that is included with this set. Another adult-oriented set that launched earlier this year, which was the Haunted House set, that had power-up abilities, but the motors and functions of that aren't included in that set, whereas in this it is included. So that's why you have such a hefty price tag of $350. So I hope that makes sense to all of you. Now, as you can see, this box is massive, and on top of that, this seems to be a different type of LEGO box. It's not the normal like side panels where you flip out on the side to empty the set. That's actually, you cut all of this around, it's gonna come off from the front. So I think this thing deserves a proper unboxing. So let's go to the top camera and we're gonna take a look at what this baby looks like when you unbox it. And we're gonna have to flip the box over again. Oh, yeah, that looks awesome. Ooh, this is a nice unboxing experience, which, you know, that's actually very nice for an expensive set like that. All right, so here we go. This is definitely a different unboxing. So first off, you get this big box right here. It's black, it has piano keys on it. This definitely feels reminiscent of a Star Wars unboxing, because Star Wars sets tend to have these boxes that have printed stuff to be reflective of the set in it. So that's really cool. And then, man, they've jam-packed this set. Look at all of these bags. This is a ton of LEGO here. Incredible amount. You're not gonna get a shortage of LEGO in this set. Let's see what part 2 pieces are. We have to bring out the scissors again. Got some more tape to cut. Let's get that open. And this is where we'll find our motors and sensors, or at least a battery box and sensor. I don't know where the motor is. And we'll also find our instructions in this box and a whole bunch of LEGO pieces. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like built. Now, people have told me that this is a functioning piano. We're gonna find out whether that really is true or not. So let's take a look. And here it is, the LEGO Grand Piano. And first off, it is way bigger than you guys might expect it to be, which is good considering the $350 price tag. It should feel big at that price. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and open it up, show you how that works. So the first thing you're going to do is flip this back just like that. I don't know all the grand piano or just piano, you know, I'm sure this flap has a name and this part has a name. I'm sure everything has a name. I'm not familiar with those names, so please, if you are a musician who knows a lot about pianos, bear with me here. Anyhow, so we're gonna flip this back like so. We're gonna open that up, and then there's a little Technic rod stand right here, and we're gonna use the second to last Technic hole in one of these bricks right here to hold it up, because the first one actually has a Technic pin in right here. But that is how you set up the lid and how you open up the piano to see the internals of it. And it's just an absolutely beautiful model right here. This is just gorgeous. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to flip this up like so, which will reveal the keyboard keys of the grand piano. And boy, does this look just amazing. The other thing right here that you can do while opening up your piano is you're also welcome to adjust the seat here. This can actually rotate upwards. It has a scissor mechanism on the inside here, which is really cool. So it works very, very well. It's not too hard to control, but so you can adjust the seat for whatever reason. It is an accurate representation of a real piano, a grand piano, I should say, would come with a seat like this. The other thing that's really cool is, of course, the actual keys of the piano can indeed function. So let's take a look at how that works. So before we start playing our piano keys, there actually is one more area to set up the piano, which is this right here. It's basically a little area to hold your music sheet. And Lego includes one music sheet. It's a 6x6 tile. Let's take a quick look at it. It's called Playday by Donnie Chin. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's actually the original creator of the Lego Ideas design. He's the one that submitted the project on Lego Ideas website, got the 10,000 votes. Obviously, it got made into a Lego set. So congratulations, Donnie, on getting your name on your set. Pretty, you know, right in the center of it. That's pretty cool. Now, this song here on the sheet music actually is a real song that's available in the app. The Powered Up app that you can play through the piano, that's actually composed by Donnie Chin. So that's really cool. I'll play that in just a few minutes, but just know he got his own name in it, so that's really cool. So you can put your sheet music right there, and now you're set up to actually start playing the piano. I'm going to go through a lot of little details and give you some nice close details of different areas, because there's definitely a lot of that. But first, let's take a look at how these keys function. So it's pretty impressive. I believe there's 25 piano keys here. Obviously not the accurate amount of what a real grand piano has, but regardless, still very cool and functional. So when I press a key, as you can see, these particular keys on this half will actually raise these particular parts inside the piano. So I can go along like so, and they move just like a real piano. Same goes with the smaller piano keys right here, the black one. I'm sure they all have names. I'm not familiar with them. I apologize. But all of those also function as well. And also, these bottom ones here do function. They just don't have this particular part here. I, again, don't know what they're specifically called, but I'm sure it has a real function in a real grand piano. So it's very neat. You can actually, you know, slide your finger down, or you can press them all down at once. It functions very well. The mechanism of how this piano key works is actually very interesting. So let's take a look at that. All right, let's take a quick look at this keyboard design as I'm building the set right now. I'm about to actually install it in the actual piano. This was a very intensive build to build this specific part of the piano, but man, was it worth it. So coming back to the actual piano, again, I'm just so impressed with how these keys function and how this entire piano actually works is very impressive. It's an engineering masterpiece, actually. I'm surprised both Donnie and the Lego designer that collaborated on this piano were able to come up with something this fantastic. This is unbelievably cool and very realistic to what a real grand piano is. Now, I brought you over to this side because I wanted to show that there is actually like an interior right here. And you'll notice not only do you have these beautiful details right here and these different strings and all of that, but there's actually the power-up box here on the side. So it's easily accessible to pull out in case you need to change the batteries or
I don't know, you don't want the battery box in there for whatever reason, it's easily accessible, easy to take out. You just unplug these two cables right here, take it out. This is also the way you're going to power on this box in order to make the piano functional and motorize it, and you'll see that here in just a minute or so. But this is your way of doing that. So moving on to those small details I was talking about, this is one of them. You have a printed Lego logo right here. All grand pianos have their signature logo of whoever made the piano, usually right here in the center of the opening and closing panel above the piano keys. And as you can see, you have the Lego logo. Nice little tidbit is it's a throwback to the original Lego logo from, I think, the 1940s, 50s. It goes back very far, so that's really cool to see. I'm sure some hardcore Lego fans will absolutely enjoy seeing that. So that's a nice little tidbit on the front side of the piano. Now, as we take a look at the bottom side, there is actually another function here. The foot piece can actually fully function just like the real piano, and it'll lift up all of the keys, and it will function. It's a function you can see up here. So what I mean is, so as you can see, that's the function, and then we take a look here, they all lift up. So that's really, really neat. I think that's a great function. The other thing is the fact that you can actually turn this around, and there is little wheels here, so you can see them. They're kind of small, but each foot, there's 3 feet on the piano. They have a little roller wheel, and they can twist around like so. So that's very nice. I do enjoy that. Another thing to make note about this battery box area over here is it's kind of the only area to store that sheet music you get here. You could put it somewhere on the piano. I don't recommend it. But the better place to probably put this sheet music when you have the piano closed is to actually place it probably right there. Now, another detail to the grand piano is right here. There is a Technic piece. You can see where my finger is right here. I'm going to slide in against it, and there's another one right here. If you pull both of those out like that, you can remove this, and what will happen is the entire piano keys will come out. So for whatever reason you want to show off to your friends your piano keys, they can easily come out like so. If you just want to show the mechanism or something gets stuck for whatever reason, that's something easily done just by pulling out 2 Technic pins. It's pretty impressive. I think that's a very neat feature. Lego obviously didn't need to implement that. It also kind of gives you a little breakdown of like how the actual mechanism here works. So very impressive on Lego's part. I think that is really cool if you want to pull it out and, you know, take a look at the keys. I think this is actually a real function of a real piano to maintain it, I believe. I might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it is. Now on the inside, you'll see just how all this functioning works. Now, unfortunately, just like you may have heard the rumors, but basically this piano, while functioning, isn't actually really playable. And I'll explain that here in a second once we have the powered up box on. But basically, you need to keep an eye on this long Technic rod, and that's going to help explain a lot of things of how this piano actually functions. All right, so now on to the big reveal of how the actual power functions or powered up system works inside the grand piano. So I have the powered up selected here. Let me just go show you. When you open the app, you'll get this screen. You'll want to choose the grand piano. You'll click the button on the inside of the piano to turn on the battery box. That will connect to Bluetooth. If it's your first time, you'll have to go through an update really quickly. So you will have to be connected to the internet in order to use this app, so keep that in mind. So if you have your phone that doesn't have a cellular connection or Wi-Fi connection, I don't believe this will work, so keep that in mind. All right, so once you get to this screen, you have 2 options, and this is kind of the limiting factor on this grand piano is these 2 options. I think a lot of people, what they expect is that you press a key and that presses a note, and while that technically is true when you hit the play button, what happens is you get, at the moment right now, there's only 5 songs, but if we do, let's say Happy Birthday to You, you click 1 key, it will recognize, and I actually accidentally clicked 2 keys, but it will recognize that you click a key. But you'll notice any key will actually do any note. So not like this key does one particular note, this key does a different note. That's not how it works. It's basically press any random key to keep the song going. And what I mean by that is basically all of these keys, while individually functioning on the inside of the piano, they're all hooked up to that Technic rod I talked about. And basically when you click any of these keys, that Technic rod lifts up. Any of them will lift up that Technic rod. And there's a sensor on the inside of the piano, and it basically just detects when that Technic rod goes up and down. That is what's happening here. So it's not possible to individually play each key and create your own sheet music with this piano. And I know that's probably the downside of this set. Lego marketed this set as something you could play on all that, but really it's just all connected. All these keys are connected, and while the app will make it feel like you're playing a piano, you can actually get an actual rhythm, and there is a certain pace you need to keep up with, just like if you were playing the real piano. However, any key will work, just as long as you're getting, you know, a decent pace here, it will work that way. So that's the play function if you want to actually play the piano. Now the listening function here, if we click that, this is actually, I think, the cooler function. However, I'll talk more about this at the end of the review of kind of my thoughts on what this could have been implemented in a different way, actually. But here's that song Playday by Donnie Chin. This is the song that's on the sheet music that's included with the set. And basically all you do is pick your song like so, and you're going to click the play button down here. And as you can see, not only are you hearing the song, but you're also seeing the piano keys move. And unfortunately, the piano keys move in a very specific way, which sucks. They don't individually change for songs. It's just a gear mechanism that you saw earlier that's just twisting around and playing different keys. So not like this end will start and this end will do something different. They're on just a continuous rotational gear input, which is, you know, a little disappointing. It kind of honestly reminds me of something you would see going to your hardware store during the holiday season. You'll see a lot of Christmas stuff, for example. You see a lot of those functioning stuff you'll put inside your home, and it's just basically on a loop. Those type of functioning Christmas items, or any type of holiday. It doesn't have to be Christmas, but it reminds me of that type of stuff where it's kind of like just a fun little thing to like turn on with your music, and you know, you just have that kind of corresponding. I guess a great example is like a Christmas tree having lights correspond to music, and it's just on a loop of those lights inputting. It's very similar. I don't know, maybe that's a weird analogy to draw this to, but that's what it reminded me of, so I thought I'd mention that. So it is really cool. You do have quite a few songs here to actually choose on the listening side. Not as many on the play side for some reason. I believe there is, yeah, just 10 songs at the moment. I'm sure Lego would add more songs as time goes because this is an app and it can be updated. But you can see here there's plenty of different songs. Now the reason, again, I brought up Christmas is there's also a lot of Christmas songs in here too. So this is how it works. Also, you'll notice that the keys will get slightly adjusted if you end it at a particular time, and Lego's actually thought about that. And you'll see when I click it into play, it already actually readjusted. There's actually a button right here, a little gear mechanism to reset the gears, so all the piano keys are perfectly aligned again. That's what, and you'll hear a kind of like a strange motor sound, just kind of like, it's almost a stalling sound. That's what you'll hear, and that's the keys resetting themselves in case you stop it in the middle of that, you know, cycle where the keys are kind of weirdly adjusted. So another thing I want to do is just quickly kind of do a 360-degree view of the grand piano, and as you can see, it is just amazing. A lot of Lego black pieces here, probably the most black Lego pieces I've ever seen in a set, which is good if you like to build with black and you ever want to take the set apart. A bunch of 2x4 tiles, a lot of great design work in this set. I'm very, very impressed with it. You might want to also pick up a microfiber cloth because black Lego, or just any darker Lego, especially with what this kind of has going on with it, you definitely want to use a microfiber cloth to constantly clean it to get rid of fingerprints and dust. That's the other thing. Let me also just show a comparison. What I have here to compare against it in terms of scale is the James Bond car. This set's been out for a few years now. Thought this would be a good comparison. And so as you can see, it is very big, very, very big. This is I think this is a $150 set, and again, this is obviously a $350 set, and it shows. It's a very, very big piano, and it definitely is a lot bigger than I think a lot of you would expect. Very impressive on LEGO's part. Brilliant set.
Alright, so now you've seen the grand piano, now you fully understand how it really works, what its quirk is, and where it definitely succeeds. And I personally think the design is definitely where this set succeeds, in a beautiful, gorgeous way at that. I really want to congratulate both Donnie Chen and the LEGO design team for coming up with such an amazing set. This seems so unlike LEGO to make such an expensive, big set piece like this. They're definitely really trying to push towards adults, which is great. They've been doing that this year in 2020 with the 18+ LEGO sets. I like to see that. I, as an adult, are loving all of these 18+ sets, this one included. Now, I do think LEGO kind of went the wrong way of advertising and marketing the set as, oh, you can play and make your own music and all of that. Unfortunately, that's not true. It is true in the aspect of, yes, you can play a song key by key on the piano, but you can't actually note by note create your own music. And I think that's where miscommunication happened with the marketing side of the piano. And then the actual like self-play feature where the piano keys play itself, it's just on a rotational loop of the keys, and they don't change for a particular song, which I think that's actually more disappointing than the individual play. I would really like to see the actual keys individually move in a specific way for each song. I think that would be far more appealing. Unfortunately, that just isn't how this set works. It's on a Technic gear mechanism that can't really, I mean, you could probably go in and change that, but that's just not how it was designed, which is a little unfortunate, I'm not gonna lie. That definitely makes the motorized function of this set, you know, definitely the downer side of this. However, the fact that that's included in this is really cool. It does work technically as advertised. I say that in, you know, very loose technical terms there. But I still think it's a gorgeous set. Absolutely beautiful. This is a set piece. This is something you would put around your house. This is not something you have to stuff away in the office corner. This is something you could put in your living room. It's just gorgeous. Just like a real grand piano, you'd want to show that off in the house. I feel like this is up there. Maybe it's not quite as you know, breathtaking as the real grand piano in a house, but I think something like this is still absolutely gorgeous, and any adult fan of LEGO would enjoy not only just having this set, but also the build. The build was incredible. I have to say though, the piano keys were a little bit stressful. It's a lot of repetitive building when you build these piano keys, but everything else was a lot of fun to build. A lot of brick building and snot techniques. I really enjoyed that aspect, so bravo to LEGO. Now, I really think they probably could have skipped out on the power functions or powered up features in this set, and if they had not included that sensor, motor, and battery box, the set could have probably been at a price tag closer to $280, which I think would be far more appealing, especially given the size. If this was $280, I think a lot of people would absolutely go out and buy this, but the $350 price tag, that is steep. Now this does feel like a $350 set, so I will give it that. But definitely a good portion of that $350 is going towards that motorized functionality, the app development to make that all work with this. Personally, I think LEGO could have just thrown in an optional, just like how the LEGO Haunted House this year had an optional ability to add power up motorization. They could have done that again here with this piano, made it optional. So, you know, you pay $280, and if you want to spend that extra $70 on the powered up functions, you can do that. It's an option. And what I mean by making it an optional motorized function is just by plugging a motor and battery box in and doing that loop cycle, and then just taking your own Bluetooth speaker and playing whatever piano music you want to play. Because I do find that the app is very limiting in the fact that there's only like 10, 15 songs max.
And I'm sure a lot of people have their own favorite piano music they want to listen to. And that's not an option as of right now in the app. And so that's the thing. That's how I kind of see this set, is Lego could have done this a lot differently. I think the actual model is beautiful. I think the powered up functionality should have been separate, and you could have just add your own Bluetooth speaker near it, or maybe you could stuff a Bluetooth speaker inside of it, whatever. Have that loop going on the piano keys to make it look like it's playing. And you still get the oohs and wows from, you know, your friends and family when they come over and see it. So I think maybe that would have been the better implementation. However, I'm still satisfied with what Lego's done here. It is very cool. I think a lot of fans will absolutely enjoy this set. Is it worth $350? If you enjoy the look of this set and you think it is a gorgeous set, then I think it is worth picking it up. I think in the long term, this will be a amazing Lego set. Looking back at it, just like a Stop with Camel playing. I think it's in that category of just absolutely gorgeously designed Lego sets. So, if you look at it that way, I think it is worth the $350. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching my review. Hopefully this is very helpful. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.